Okay, so let's take a look at the copy of the potato masher. So we're going back to the potato masher copy. And if we scroll down, we take a look, this looks like they basically copied this straight over from Amazon. So it's all the bullet points that are copied into the description. So, I mean, if you're doing this quickly and you wanted to just, move stuff over right away, it's not a bad thing, but they definitely don't like it. So what I would recommend is these bullets that are all in all caps. Those could be moved to the key features portion, and then you could kind of rearrange the rest of the description of each bullet points into, different paragraphs of the actual description itself. So you can keep the same information, but kind of move it around a little bit so that it's formatted for Walmart. Is that something that you would?
Yeah, that's a great point. So for bulk uploads, it's definitely easier to just grab all your bullets and just kind of stuff it into the description. In this case, it looks like the description is really only one line, which is, I think, just the title, and then these are the key features here. So you're wrong twice.
Yeah.
You have a way too short description and you have way too long key features. So it definitely takes time, especially if you're doing a lot of listings, but spend that 5 minutes on the listing, separate your bullets from your title, from your description. Don't leave them in full caps. If you want, you could easily convert that with tools online. There's a formula in Excel if you want to have that, and rewrite your description to kind of fit full sentences, because you could probably just re-letter, like just make sure the first letter is capital, and just look it over. Just take a look at it. Spend those few extra minutes making sure your copy is good, because that's honestly one of the biggest factors with the algorithm, and getting that right will only rank you better.
All right, let's look at the garlic masher. All right, it looks like they are in the correct format, which is really good. They probably have quite a few keywords in this description, which is going to help them a lot for visibility. And they've got 5 bullets right here. Okay. So let's see, they've said high quality stainless steel, peel several pieces of garlic at the same time. That's definitely a selling point. Comes with a garlic scraper for wiping minced garlic easier and faster. Easy to clean and use, and lifetime guarantee. So
yeah, that's
good
great.
selling points.
Yeah. Okay. This is like a big block of text over here. I would probably split it up. It does look like it has some good information in here with the dimensions of the unit. So these guys were really adamant on that. They got it both in the image. I think even a couple images had the sizes, which is.
I think it's actually just better in the images to just put the instructions and the dimensions in the images and not in the description, because those. You don't need those keywords.
For sure, and also it's so much easier to explain in an image rather than writing out in the description over here. Yeah. But if you wanna add keywords, you could definitely stuff a couple into the instruction. So if you're gonna put directions, make sure to be smart about it.
All right. So, and we did mention Rich Media, which isn't available currently, but Rich Media, when it's implemented again, will allow you to add videos and a bunch of other kind of A+ like content, very similar to Amazon. So we'll keep you updated on that. But as of right now, we actually don't have access to Rich Media. So that's why we're not going over it right now.
Yeah.
All right. So the last thing we want to talk about here is we actually want to take a look at these titles. So I don't know. I think that's kind of short, this title. What do you think?
Well, yeah, definitely short. It does kind of get the point across, which is nice. I would do a few things just immediately. I like the brand in the front, that's correct. Attribute of what the product is, right up here, garlic press rocker, which kind of makes it a little bit unique. Dash green, right? Green, yes, very important in the copy, in the title. Get rid of this dash, just green. I would also make a little bit more of a note over here. Like, it is very brief. You want to kind of maybe say something a little bit along the lines of, for
maybe the material.
Yeah, sure. You could go with the material. Let's look at the guide and just kind of see if we could how we would change this one up to make it a little bit better according to this. So right, brand is their item name, model name if applicable. I guess rocker could really do that, and style. The key attribute I think here is what's missing. Yeah. You want to kind of speak to a little bit more. Like if we look at the potato masher, I think that's a little bit of a better idea over here. It tells you what it is. Stainless steel, right? Tells you a little bit about the product. Food masher kitchen tool for beans, right? Eggs and avocado, right? kitchen tool. You might want to have that in this copy over here. This is just garlic press, rocker green. If someone's just searching kitchen tools, it might not necessarily come up for that. So maybe Zulay kitchen, garlic press, kitchen tool for garlic, or something along those lines. You could just use the guides to really put in what you would like, and use the listing quality score, which we're going to dive into in a minute, to give you those additional points that you might want to address in your copy, description, and key features.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and take a look at the listing quality score. So the way that we're gonna do that is we're gonna go to the sidebar here on your Walmart Seller Center, and you're gonna go under the Analytics tab, and it's called Growth Opportunities. We're gonna take a look at the coffin shelf that we have listed here. It's basically a copy of our Amazon listing. We just really copied it over, and it needs a lot of work. So we're gonna take a look at the listing quality score, and David's gonna talk to you about some of the different components that are really important for the listing quality score.
Yeah, for sure. Before that, I just wanted to note over here the listing quality score across the board for all your listings on your account. Just kind of a little bit of a brief glance into what you're dealing with. I know over here we only have 5 listings, but you're dealing with hundreds, thousands of listings. It's good to know where you stand, and it will automatically sort this by the ones that need the most work. So as you can see, it's going descending over here from worst to greatest. Here's got a little tick over here to indicate that is above the 70% mark that they are looking for. So let's go ahead and take a look at this one over here with 19%. So that is very much on the lower side. Definitely want to get that up. Ideally, as we said, over 85%. So let's go ahead over here, and the first thing we're going to be looking at is content and discoverability, which is everything we just talked about, including some other features as well. It's broken up into 2 parts: content, which is the copy, and the images, which is what this video is about, and discoverability is attributes, which we will be reviewing at a later point. Now, all these issues over here that they are going to notate for you is based on the product, but how do they know what your product is? For that, they have what's called the product type. This is also something we've discussed in other videos. Very important that this is accurate. This is indeed a floating shelf, which is what this product is. So the issues over here will be specific to a floating shelf, and the copy guidelines will be specific to floating shelves. They look at all other floating shelves on the platform, get an idea for how long the title should be, and if your product has a longer or shorter title comparatively, they will actually inform you of this. So it's just good to kind of have an idea of other products within the space so you know how to best set up your listing. So over here, if you just have a single issue, it'll just notate it for you, but in this case, there are 3, as it nicely puts, and it gives you an individual score as well for each part of the listing. So as we can see, the 19% is overall, and that spans across content, discoverability, offer, and post-purchase. Really, these 2 we will adjust a bit later on, but content and discoverability is going to be the main ones that we're referring to over here, which is 72%, which is honestly not bad. And the reason for that is we're going to typically see that higher content and discoverability score, especially when copying over from Amazon, because it does get the main points across. It's just about making sure that you want to refine that to get to that higher score. Now, it's very important to note that even if you are achieving that high quality score for content and discoverability, that doesn't translate to having a good listing for the platform. Obviously, it does help, but there are different tactics within the copy that it's just impossible to really fit into the issues over here. It's really like more specific to how you want to set up your keywords, which keywords you want. They will give you like as detailed as they can, but at the end of the day, you are required to really do your research over here and really make sure that you're putting in all the pertinent keywords. It's not, Walmart's not gonna be like, hey, you're missing this one, you should probably put that one in. Yeah. Like, that's not gonna be a thing. You need to make sure that you're on top of that. So even if you are nailing it 100% across the board, that does not equal to a perfect listing. So just keep in mind, you do have to put in your work with keywords in the copy. So let's take a look at what they tell you is wrong over here. So the first thing is the missing key attributes within the title. They say that it does include the color and home decor style, but is missing size, material, and number of shelves. Now, this is interesting because if you look, it does say wooden over here. So here's where you can see a little bit into how Walmart figures this out. If we go down to the bottom here and we look at material, it shows wood and not wooden. So That is honestly, it should automatically figure that out, but it doesn't. So I would just say, rather than changing this to a floating wood shelf, just change the material to wooden. That should correct this over here. And then make sure to also include this other information over here. As you can see, it does not notate that it is indeed 3 shelves. So this could also definitely be more concise, which is the second point here. It's 132 characters. And then it tells you it should be closer to the average length of this product type.
Let's go back to number of shelves. Is that number of shelves within the coffin shelf or the number of coffin shelves?
Okay, so regarding something like a question like number of shelves, like is that referring to how many total shelves there are versus number of individual shelves? This is something that you would have to just kind of think about within the product. Typically, they'll use count or number of pieces or pack to know how many similar products there are over there. So that would be, from that standpoint, that would be a 2-pack. Number of shelves is a specific attribute for a floating shelf, and it would refer to specifically being 3 individual levels. So that's kind of this. The size is something that they want to factor in over here. I would say probably stick to like small, medium, large idea, just so you can kind of have an idea. Take a look at this, just search floating shelves on Walmart, see what sizes other people have, and just kind of get an idea for your competitors, what their sizes are, just so you kind of know if you are large, medium, or small, because that will obviously depend on the competition. The second issue they have here is the length of the title over here, which is saying it's 132 characters, and for this specific product type, the top performing items is 60. So they look at the product type and they get you the best performing items, and they let you know that 60 is the total for a title, which we say should be between 50 and 75. So that pretty much stands in line for that. This is quite long, but something to note is that the brand is a bit long in this case. And that's okay, you are afforded a few points here and there, right? As long as you just have your overall score very high, it's fine if you honestly lose a few points just on the title. If your title's only 70% or 80%, that's okay, as long as you're nailing it everywhere else, which should not be an issue. The third thing we have over here is not relevant to the signed product type. The title needs to contain a key subject word or phrase indicating it's relevant to its assigned product type, floating shelf. So there is a structure for how this should be set up, and it's saying it's missing the term floating shelves. It does say floating wooden shelf, so I think they specifically want this keyword over there, and really a rearrangement over here of this entire copy, right? So the brand's good. Pastel pink coffin shelf is nice, but it should really kind of, again, fit into the line of how they want that structure to be. Okay, so we're just going to open a Word doc over here and go back and forth over here just to see how we would paste this. All right, so here's our current title, and what I'm going to do is just go to our knowledge base over here and just, oops, this is for images. I'm going to go ahead to our knowledge base over here and copy the product name part of this, the title, just so we kind of see what we're aiming for. So let's go ahead and copy this, head back to our Word document, and let's dig in. All right, so let's put our guidelines on top here. Okay, so now we can see over here just for this selected is 132 characters. So we'll just keep on referencing back to this. All right, let's go ahead and rewrite this over here. And our goal is to achieve brand, item name, model name, style, key attribute, pack, size, and they don't notate color over here, but it did mention it right over here. This item is part of a variation. So let's go ahead and put our new title over here. So let's start first with the brand. Manny's Mysterious Oddities. Okay, and the next thing is the model number, if applicable. I don't think it's maybe like coffin shelf. Okay, so the next thing let's do is the key attribute. So floating. They
want us to put floating shelves. Should we just put that in there?
Yeah, so I would put like floating coffin shelves.
Even though there's only one shelf?
So this is an interesting case over here because it really is one shelf with 3 shelves in it, and they are aiming that you hit floating shelves as the key attribute because that's what the product type is. And this is just another one of those cases where you are allowed to lose a couple points over here, but you do want to hit that main attribute as well, that main feature, that main keyword, right? That we want to make sure that when you're searching, this product comes up over there for that keyword. So floating shelves is more relevant than floating shelf because typically people are looking for this. So it is okay, even though it might sound a little bit strange for what it is still understandable. So I would stick with the floating shelves.
Should we put coffin floating shelves?
Okay, yeah, let's do that. Coffin floating shelves. Because that's kind of maybe the model name or style, right? Style, coffin floating shelves. And then pack, which is not applicable. Size, we can mention that over here. Maybe mention like large.
It's not really that large. All right, so we've kind of put together a new title to see what we can do to fix this. So we're gonna go ahead and put edit, and we're gonna go ahead and edit the name here of this actual product and see what happens with the actual score. So we'll go ahead and submit those changes.
All right, now we have the feed ID and we have to wait for it to go through. The growth opportunity listing quality score can take up to 2 days to update. It's probably the slowest thing that updates on Walmart. So unfortunately, we'll have to wait for this to process. We might get lucky, and if once the product changes, we'll be able to see that. But I've only seen it take a while for it to actually go through. But if you want to just go ahead and view on the site, let's take a look at the listing to see if it got updated. We could also just take a look at the activity feed to see how things are going over here. All right, item maintenance, right, 319, 320, right, that's it. So it does say it's processed, and if we look at our items, we could see if it did indeed go through over here. So let's take a look. It's still doing the pastel pink.
So it's not completely updated.
Yeah, it hasn't yet updated, and this is something we will see with Walmart where the updates just don't go through. I would suggest waiting maybe like another few minutes. Again, it could take up to 4 hours for these updates to go through. And this is a huge reason why I'm for using files, because you could go in there, you have all your information on the Word document, you go ahead into the listing, you change everything out, you hit that update, but nothing goes through. And then the day something went wrong with Walmart's backend and your listing doesn't get updated. Now you have to go in again and you have to do all this work again, and especially if you have multiple listings, this could become really tedious. Versus if you just make a file and you put in all your new information there, you save that, you upload it, doesn't work, no problem. Upload it again. Every single day you upload it until it's working, you know? You have everything there, you don't need to go in there and manually change everything every time. You could nail multiple listings at one time across multiple categories. It's definitely what I would recommend is the way to go about things. And also it helps in the future, you know, you always have that information there. You need to check on something, you want to see how things were, something happens to your listing, you just need that information, you have it all in a file. It's a really great way to keep your listings organized.
All right, so let's just go back to the growth opportunities. And so as you can see, you know, we've got all of the details here that we need to change. So we gave you an example of, you know, we looked at the title, and it's the same for the description and the key features. They're going to tell you exactly what's missing and what you need to update. So you can go through there. And then I think one of the most important things is the attributes. So these are things that you have to fill in order to help yourself rank. So it's really doing yourself a disservice if you're not filling these in. So it looks like, you know, we needed to update this. So sometimes you need to come in here every few days or maybe every week to just check to see if there's any new attributes that need to be updated. Yeah. But it looks like we do need to update the shelf and shelf unit type. So we can edit that. We will need to edit the capacity, the mount type, all of this different information we're going to need to put in there to help improve our listing quality score.
Yep, that is a great point. Again, this is also based on the product type. So certain product types like this one is actually a lot compared to what I typically see for listings. There are, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like 13 different attributes here. I would say it typically ranges maybe about like 8 to 10. So clearly this product type does have a lot of discoverability points. Now, the reason for this is what's this idea? Why recommended attributes? What's going on over here? this is all from the discoverability side of things, that when you're searching on Walmart for a floating shelf, these are going to be the options that come up in your filter. These are going to be what your customers are looking for. They want to see specific features. They want to see what the capacity is. They want to know what the mount type is. These are all very important things that a customer needs to see on the listing so they know how to implement it with what they're going to use, right? I need to put this on my house. Do I need to drill it into the wall? Is it glue? They need to know all this information. Otherwise, it's going to make it very difficult for them to make that decision. So if you make sure that your listing has it and they're looking at some other listing, maybe their coffin looks a little different and they might want that design, but if they don't have this information in there, they're going to go with your listing because you are providing them with information that they need. So it's very important that these features, that these attributes get filled out. And as Carrie mentioned, there are new attributes that Walmart is constantly pushing through, making certain ones recommended. We suggest going in there and filling out, you need to fill out the recommended. Recommended should be required. And from there, you will also have additional attributes that we just suggest fill it out. You know, it doesn't hurt. Put in as much information as you can. It could take some time, but again, it helps. Every piece of information helps because it could just help with your discoverability, help a customer know what they're getting, and it's just all there nicely laid out in that image. It's all there nicely laid out in that listing. So let's go ahead over here and just jump into edit. It's going to take you back to your listing edit page. And what's really nice over here is Walmart will lay out for you this information with different colors. So blue is recommended. You could see here if you untick that, it will just kind of remove the recommended, and it's kind of broken up into two features, recommended and additional. And you also have the attributes with issues to kind of show you what's wrong. It's really help you see what's up. If you want attributes with issues, you'll just limit it to the ones that you should be filling out. But I just recommend just kind of look at all of them, see what you could add where you can. Okay, so let's take a look over here. We have external product identifier. They just want to see your ASIN. You can fill that in your discretion. Price per unit, if applicable. Here you can see our issues with the key feature. MSRP, although it's not a recommended field, just fill it out. Doesn't hurt. Let's go ahead and see what else we got over here. Rigid plastic container, WFS only. Does not. So this is if the packaging is in rigid packaging that meets all the criteria. If it's just in this plastic, which this product is not. So that's just something to note. It's important for WFS. And then we can just keep going here. For these additional attributes, if you have information to put in, it doesn't hurt to put in. We have over pattern over here. You can see an example for like other ones, solid. Just go ahead and fill it out. You know, it only helps to have additional information. If you see this little thing that says press enter, what that means is you can actually enter multiple different types. And when you hit enter, it turns it into a little block. So I could go ahead and put in, I don't know, something else over here, but I don't want to add anything else. Material, wood. I'm just going to go ahead and put in wooden over here. So that we don't have that issue with the title. Finish, size, home decor style, curtain panel size. We could put an NA for these different things, NAs. Window, like there's a lot of, this is all based on the category. That's why we're seeing all these different attributes over here. A lot of this is, as you can see, very not applicable, but you will see everything related to the category. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the recommended attributes over here, the ones specifically in blue. So let's go ahead through here. So something Walmart will do is they'll give you examples for just an idea of what you can put in for this field. In this case, mount type. So this would be a wall mount. This is either put on the wall or there is a tabletop. So we'll just go ahead and put wall mount. And as you can see over here, it does have the option for enter. So that means if I enter, it'll make a little box out of it, and I could do different different tapes over here. So I'm also going to put tabletop because that is another way you could have this stored. Number of shelves, in this case, it's going to be 3. We have shelf and shelf unit type. So
can you take a look at the number of shelves information?
Yes, this is, I think, where you could really express like what's going on over here. You could explain that it's a all-in-one, like all-in-one shelf, just so you could see, like, kind of have an idea of what it is, because all 3 are together.
Or you could say floating shelf.
Floating shelf works too. And then we have the type over here, which could also be floating shelf. Really?
Gothic floating shelf.
Oh, Gothic floating shelf. That's nice. Maybe we could do multiple. Just different
Spooky.
attributes. Spooky. Get that discoverability in over here.
Goth.
Goth. Yeah, so have fun with this. Really fill out what you would like. Let's just see if there's anything else. So here we have another field over here. The last one is capacity. The example is 4 chickens, which is probably not for this product. We'll just go ahead and put like the weight, I would say, of how much this could hold. So maybe like just put 5 pounds or something like that. I think that should be good. And try to be accurate to your product, obviously, but the main thing is really have information in here. You want to make sure every single one of these is filled out because this affects your discoverability in a major way. All right, let's go ahead, submit changes. Yes, submit, and I'll take you right back to this page over here. And as you can see, the title is still not updated. If we view on site, we could see also that it's not updated. Let's just go ahead and push it through one more time, see if we could get this to work. And if not, we'll just have to try again another day. All right, and let's just see how that goes. So if we scroll down, we'll also be able to see this is still not updated. And if you click edit, sometimes if you click edit, you will see the field filled out over here, and it just won't. Yeah. So here in this case, it's still empty.
It's just not updated. It just takes time.
Yeah. So just go ahead and just cancel this out. Check your activity feed. You can see that there were a couple changes made over here. This was 336. That was for the first one, and then the second one was the title right over here, done briefly after that. So
after a few hours, you'll be able to start to see it, but even the listing quality score might take a day or so.
Exactly, they are up to 48 hours. All right, so we pretty much covered the content and discoverability side of things. Just one more thing to note is they do give you a total amount of errors over here. So they tell you 10, which you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then just count the remaining ones, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Those are what that's referring to. Then we have another 2 parts to the total listing quality score. As you can see, our content discoverability is killing it over here with 72%, but we overall have a 19% listing quality score. And as you can see, this is broken down over here into different impacts. So the content discoverability only has a 1 versus offer has 3 and rating and review has 2. I've seen this vary by product type, and I've seen a few listings with some different ones here, though recently I've noticed this pattern of 1, 3, 2 being a lot more prevalent. So this might be one of the updates that Walmart has done where it's across the board, because recently I have not seen other structure to this, but you might see some nuances. Definitely has been in the past. So the breakdown over here is content and discoverability, which is, as we discussed, copy, images, which we didn't really talk about, but as you can see, you have no issue over here. They want you to have at least 5 images per listing. And then also discoverabilities, which is attributes. Then you have offer, and this is broken down to 3 parts over here. The first one is the price. The second is shipping speed. And the third is published and stock. So what that means, the first one is just very basic. Walmart will try find your product on Amazon and compare it. And what we'll do is it will let you know if your product is more expensive, less expensive. Now, Walmart does not want you to be more expensive on their platform than on Amazon. They want you to be the same price. The goal is, and vice versa, Amazon wants you to be the same price as Walmart. Amazon claims that they'll take down your listing on Amazon if your product on Walmart is cheaper. And if your product is too much more expensive on Walmart than it is on Amazon, Walmart will unpublish your listing until you fix it. So in this case, it shows no match, which means that there's no product to submit to that it's correlated to. You could go ahead and submit a price match. And for that, you need to put in the Amazon link. So just find the product on Amazon, paste it in there, and they will then record that. The edit option over here will take you if you want to actually change the price. So if you do have, it'll tell you over here, like same, more, $2, less $2, and then you have the ability to edit if you want to change what the price is to match. The second part is shipping speed over here. This is dependent on your shipping templates as well as your WFS. You do want to make sure that your products are 2-day shipping because that is, as you can see, your offer is the most important one, and they're really trying to push that you have 2-day shipping because that's the goal. Walmart wants that platform that is competitive with Amazon, that all these listings have fast shipping. You get your product 2 days because having that long shipping is just really a big turnoff for a lot of people when they're trying to purchase products. So Walmart's really trying to push for that. That all of them are that direction.
And luckily, we have converted these to WFS eligible. So
we're ready to go. Now, the final issue here is the published and out of stock. So this product is indeed out of stock. If we go ahead and view it over here, it is out of stock, which is something that Walmart definitely does not want for your listings to be published and out of stock. So the answer for that is obviously get your product in stock. And if it's not, put it into stage status, and it will show you for the past 7 days what the status has been. As you can see, it's been the past 7 days have been bad. So even if you put in stock today, you will still have a bit of an issue here because the last 6 days were bad. So it really does affect your listing when you do go out of stock. So make sure that you are keeping your products in stock. The third section here is post-purchase, which is also 0 right now, but that's because there has been no purchases yet. As we can see here, no units sold. So we have 3 things over here. We have delivery defect, which means you shipped late and they received it late. Cancellation rate is obviously if they cancel the product, and return rate. As we can see, we're currently 0s across the board, which is good, but because there's no sales, it is technically 0%. Like if you had 1 sale, that would already do a little bit better over here. Now, as we are making these changes over here, you will notice, hooray, your listing quality score is now 25%, and it went up from 72 to 93. So if we go back to content discoverability, let's take a look. So the title, as you can see, has not yet been fixed, but just getting those attributes all 100% has boosted our score by 20%, 21%. Amazing. That is pretty significant, and 6% overall, which is pretty nice. Wow. So make sure you work on that and get stuff. Content discoverability right now is 93%. So that alone is pretty good. Obviously, you do want to fix the copy up for algorithm and ranking purposes, but in terms of content discoverability, 93%, pretty good. Okay, there's 3 sections over here, and there's also post-purchase, which is this like a 4th section. Rating and review obviously is on the product. You want to make sure that it has as close to 5-star rating and as many as reviews as possible. That's going to play a role here as well. It doesn't have the information over here, but it will tell you right over here in this section if your product does have what your rating is and how many stars, and that's going to directly impact this. So content discoverability, offer, rating and reviews, post-purchase. So that is the full breakdown. The post-purchase does not have like an impact by it, but it definitely does affect your listing quality score. So 0 issues is nailing it.
Perfect.
And you could read this guide about listing quality score. Again, shout out to Walmart Guides. Very well done. Very, very nicely written. Great images with really clean and laid out nicely. So Walmart team absolutely killing it with these guides.
Yeah. That is all for our listing optimization episode. In this episode, we talked about all the guidelines for images, for copy, and also we went through your listing quality score. So there was a lot of information in here, but I know that it's going to be very helpful once you start getting in there and you have some questions. You can always refer back to this video because you will definitely think and have some questions, I do believe, because I have all along the way. So I hope that you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you again in the next video. Bye.